My name's Georgia Mooney and I'm a singer-songwriter. Coming to you today from the cleanest and plainest wall of my kitchen in lockdown Sydney. You may know me as 1/4 of All Our Exes Live in Texas, an indie folk band with a regrettably dumb name in hindsight. I'm also a solo artist and a session musician. Music is my career, and as such, I'm a small business owner, probably like many of you watching today. The exciting and thought-provoking content you're about to see comes from my good friends at OneMusic Australia. They're the people who ensure that when a music license is paid, it goes to the right music creators. Occasionally, that's even me. So what do we have in store for you today? We will introduce you to some really clever Australian venue owners who have thought creatively about how to integrate music into their business. And we will let you in on some very fascinating trade secrets about background music. In fact, OneMusic Australia has a stash of secrets in these here Presto booklets. Heaps and heaps of low-cost and low-effort secrets from around the world to help get music really working for you in your business. So here are some facts for you. Did you know that 97% of venues recognise that their customers want to hear music? 97%. And 2 out of 3 customers say that music is important when they go to a venue. In fact, in the UK, 57% of venue managers agreed that their own choice of restaurant is influenced by the music played. So how is it that only 20% of customers say that the music chosen by venues actually creates a nice atmosphere? We have to get it right. And for hospitality businesses where so much is intangible, people really rely on any cues they can get to gauge the quality of service they've received. Look, Oxford University agrees with me. There was a study done in a pub in the UK. Music was turned off during what would have been a lively Friday-Saturday trade. Yep, dead silence. A nightmare. Think of the Tinder dates. The next weekend, they played music. And guess what? They saw 48% more sales when music was playing. Think of that. Instead of selling 9 kids, they sold 13. And 47 babies were conceived that weekend. And what about the tempo of the music? Does that matter? When you have to manage capacity, yes it does. Another study proves that if you play slow music at dinner, customers stay around 56 minutes. But if you play fast music, they chow down and leave in 45, so you can get the next load of punters through. And what about live music? 57% of people say they want to invite friends when there's live music in a restaurant. 57%. Oh, hi, Giles. I'm a bit busy now. 11 in the morning's a little early for espresso martinis for me. Where are you? Who's playing? I'm coming. It's a piano phone. It's a phone that's a piano. Speaking of friends, some friends of OneMusic are about to open their hearts to you and share some ways that they've mastered music in their venue. Hustle and Flow is more than just Sydney's best R&B and hip-hop venue. It's an awesome bar with a whole lot of soul, booze, burgers and beats. It's been thriving in Redfern since 2013. Let's find out some of the secrets behind their success.
G'day, I'm Nigel, the owner of Hustle and Flow. We're Sydney's #1 hip-hop bar / live music venue. We're an intimate little space in the heart and soul of Redfern, but we pack a punch and we bring a lot of live music to Sydney. Hustle and Flow has been around since 2013. Feels like a lifetime. But we've been providing live music since day one. We pretty much hold live music every day of the week. Music's part of our DNA. It's pivotal to our whole business model. We provide great drinks, food, great atmosphere, but all of that is piggybacked off the music that we bring. Music's always been a big part of my life, since I was a kid, and I've brought that through to my business. I think it's important to everyone. It's a way to connect with people. It's nostalgic. It makes you feel good. You know, it's just got it's life. It's everything to me. And anyway, patrons that visit us are usually, not always, but usually hip hop or R&B enthusiasts. Some are pretty die-hard hip hop fans. But they respond really well to the music we play because it's catered to their tastes. But we have a wide range of different types of music that we play, and we cater to a lot of different communities, and people respond really well to the music. Say it be during the week, if we're having a live band, people get really into it and enjoy seeing people playing music live, which in my opinion there isn't enough of in Sydney. There can always be more. Then we have weekends where we have DJs. You know, they're playing like the old school hip hop, R&B, those club bangers that everybody loves. They go crazy for. They get up, have a dance. Almost turns into like a micro club. People are just really enjoying themselves, and it's just a great way for people to connect. Long-term wise, we're actually going to expand our venue to include a dedicated live music performance space. That way we can have bigger events, bigger acts, more crowds, more fun, more music, more good times. I really hope that government bodies and organisations such as OneMusic really get behind live music venues, help us bring culture and nightlife and fun back to Sydney, because the city really needs it.
I ask you, what goes better together than music and booze? The Music and Booze Company are in the business of great music, great booze, and exciting events. They're the legends behind the festivals Bad Friday, the Beer, Footy and Food Festival, King Street Carnival, playing in January, and Country and Inner Western. They're all about curating creative events.
Working with venues, we've seen the effect it has had on them, and obviously now having our own venue, which we've had to sit in for 2 years, it's, you know, we understand how hard it's been and what the challenges are coming out of it. One of the things we've always spoken to our venues in particular is about throughout this whole process is to be continuing to be on the front foot and to be ready. Didn't change the fact to the advice we've been giving to our venues all along. That was to be ready for the doors to open, to pre-plan as much as you possibly can to ensure that when post-lockdown, hopefully euphoria hits, that the venues are in a position to obviously take advantage of that, to be competitive. There's going to be a lot on, there's going to be a lot of people scrambling for acts and artists and to make sure that they are at the forefront of patrons' minds. I feel there could be a flood of events and a flood of things happening at venues all around Sydney. So, you know, we're encouraging our venues to really not sit back, but to be proactive in making sure we're getting artists booked. You know, we're securing dates that when we are in a position to open and hopefully open at capacity or a capacity for venues that makes it worthwhile, that they're in a position to do so. So on our own business, you know, we've just constantly been pushing to do anything. You know, we've gone for 1 million grants, as I'm sure everyone has. We were lucky enough to get a couple. We put on a small country music festival in between, just prior to this lockdown, which was great. We managed to sneak that in. You know, we've had 3 events either postponed or cancelled in this lockdown, and we've managed to reschedule them. The King Street Carnival being one was supposed to be in September. That is now being rescheduled to January. So hopefully we can, you know, all the hard work we've put in that so far, the compiling of the lineups, the doing the artwork, the marking schedules, working with our event management team to get the approvals for parks and the production right. We've been able to transition that and move it to the new dates, and really hopefully we can benefit from that. And we have two other events, which were called the Beer Footy and Food Festival, which are run in conjunction with the Newtown Jets Rugby League team here, which go very, very well. Unfortunately, they had to be cancelled this season, but I think by being very open with ticket buyers and creating a great relationship with those people who had purchased tickets, we've been able to. Our post-COVID plans have been to be as busy as possible, and we're trying to make sure that we are not chasing our tail when doors open and events are allowed back on, or when pubs are allowed to accept people, and missing out on that initial kind of rush or that goodwill that will be around.
I'm joined now by Catherine Giuliano, the director of OneMusic Australia. So, Kath, we've seen some really great ideas about live music, but some venues are simply unsure of how to stage live music, aren't they?
I think the first step for a business is to actually look at the space of their premise and to assess what they can do in terms of live music. And that's as in a solo performer, duo, trio, even a full band, right? So what they can fit. Their, aim is to have as many people on site as possible, and that would be a restaurant seated or in a bar or a hotel. What they should note, though, a solo performer, for instance, doesn't take up much space at all and is really good to have. This is all about a point of difference, creating a point of difference to make your venue stand out from similar venues. I think the market probably is, once in New South Wales and Victoria come out of the COVID, or even, states that are already out of COVID, to actually show themselves as venues who are innovative and offering something more and something different. So, so think about the space you have and, and the time of day and when it suits your business to have that live music as the first step. You may also want to have, depending on the type of business you have, you might be a bar, you might want a DJ, for instance. That could be something different. It's still a performance and offers a point of difference for you and creates a different vibe. So that's the first thing, I think.
Perfect. So how do people go about finding musicians to play in the first place?
So that's the next step. The next step is, okay, I've established what might work in my business. What do I do next, and how do I, connect with a musician? So I think the next thing to think about is what type of musician would work for your setting in your business. Is it the developing artist? And developing artist could be across all genres. Or is it a more established artist that you want to feature? Right? So it's whether you think how you're going to use it. If you're a restaurant, you probably can use a developing artist because it might be more background rather than featured. The feature is the food, right? So you work out what works for your business. Now, if it's a developing artist, Triple J on Earth is an avenue that showcases a lot of developing artists. Each year they do that, and if you put your suburb into a search engine with Triple J on Earth, things pop up for you. So you might be able to contact someone that way. The other way is if you contact your local high school, even universities and the Conservatorium of Music. So education institutions have very talented music creators and performers there. And if you contact those and call them, you could be put in touch with one of those. If you want an established artist, my suggestion is that you can use resources. There are resources out there such as Muso app. There's the Australian Music Industry Network. They can connect you with musicians and booking agents. There's lists of booking agents. You can also just go into a search engine and just do your suburb. There's booking agents all over Australia, and you'd have to work out which is best for you. But yeah, they can put you in touch with the musician as well.
Now, what you have next for us is some quick snapshots of venues who have OneMusic licenses, who are really nailing it, who've caught your eye.
There's quite a few, and I'm just going to mention a couple here, but there are quite a few venues all over Australia who are using music in a very smart way, and a way that has proved very successful for them, not only in their business brand, but also, I guess monetarily, because it works. That's what a business is about, staying afloat and being profitable. Mm-hmm. So we have in Hobart, Irish Murphys. So this is a venue that has a greenhouse, and they utilise that greenhouse as a way to showcase songwriters. So they perform in the greenhouse. They have songwriting sessions. They do mentoring programs there, and they also have a separate Facebook page for songwriters. There's a couple in WA that I'd like to mention. The first one is the Settlers Tavern, and that's in regional. Yeah, they're great. So that's regional WA, and they're actually a recipient of an APRA award, which is a music industry award, and for licensee of the year. So they received that. So they have a tradition of live music. So that's what they've been doing for a long time. But they've actually finessed their music program that appeals to a very broad clientele. So there's the surfing community, and then there are a tourist community. So they cross kind of different audience types for them. So that's good. Well, you've got to think about your audience as well. We have the Sandstone Point Hotel, and that's just near Bribie Island in Queensland. Now, not everyone will be able to do this. They're very lucky because they sit on 35 hectares of land. They utilise that by having massive outdoor concerts on there, and they also have an oyster festival each year. Delicious. So they're using music very well for their venue. And the last one is the Gov in Adelaide, which is the Governor Hindmarsh Hotel in Adelaide, who are also a recipient of an APRA award for Licensee of the Year. And they are a family. It's a family-run hotel, music-loving family that have been brought up on blues and folk music, but they're very open-minded in the music that they present, and they cross all genres, and particularly they are a great platform for the developing band or artists as well as established. They do a mix and have, they play music. I think it's 7 days a week. They have music there. Yeah. So they're the few that are really doing it well.
Amazing. And some award winners even, potential to win a prize. There you go.
That's right.
Pretty good. So as we mentioned, all those venues we've just showcased have a OneMusic Australia license, and they pay their fees. So do the fees really go to musicians?
Yes, they do. So a OneMusic license covers the public performance of music. So that's one area in the Copyright Act, and that's what OneMusic look after. It looks after the songwriter in regards to the musical work, and that's the APRA side of the licensing. The other side is the PPCA represented area, which is the sound recording, and that's the performing artist. So there's two. I will talk about APRA and the songwriter, and Georgia, you would know about this, being a member of APRA. Firstly, 13% comes out as an admin fee for APRA, and the rest is distributed, paid out as royalties. I'd like to mention at this point that all members of APRA who receive royalties are small business operators. So we're talking today to venue operators, many who are small business operators. So it's the same thing. So they have an ABN, they've got to do their GST, they've got to do their tax, they've got all their the usual formalities that come with being a small business owner. Mm-hmm. So yes, it's paid out as royalties. To provide some stats for on the APRA side, 1.5 million songs were paid out last year from licenses that APRA did. So there's a number of licenses that exist within APRA beyond OneMusic public performance. And so 1.5 million songs were paid out, and that equates to 50,000 songwriter members of APRA were paid last year. Mm-hmm. Now, also, the license fees from OneMusic go to PPCA, and then they have their own distribution practices. But yes, money also goes to the sound record for the performing artists on the sound recording side as well. So yes, royalties, that many royalties were paid out, that much.
Well, this has been fascinating. Thank you very much for joining us, Kath. And do you have any final words for the good people watching at home?
Yes, I do. I want to say to all those hoteliers, restaurant owners, bar operators, and all the hospitality industry to thank them on behalf of music creators. And that's just not Australian music creators, that's music creators worldwide, but clearly Australian, because we represent Australians and love it when you play Australian music. Want to thank you for your support in taking out a license. You're actually contributing to art and culture in this country, and right now it's never been more important. Post-COVID, our hope is that with you guys being essential, that you continue to play music, would continue to present live music in particular to create that connection between musicians and music lovers. And so I just want to thank you for what you've done so far and what you probably will do in the future.
Perfect. Thanks, Kath. Who knew music could be so instrumental to your business? If you'd like to get your hands on a Presto booklet for more tips on powering your business with music, or you have any questions at all about music licensing, OneMusic Australia is here to help. Follow them on Facebook, connect via LinkedIn, or head to onemusic.com.au for a range of resources, frequently asked questions, or to live chat with one of their delightful, helpful team. Thanks for watching.